Hello and welcome back to Fiercely Marcy Rooted and Rising. This is the the third video in my self-love series. And this video is about reconnecting with your inner child. Woohoo! And you might be thinking, what? What are you talking about? Why are we doing this? Well, let me tell you. You may have unresolved issues that stretch all the way back to your childhood. You may have triggers happening in your life now. You might not call them triggers. You might be like, that's a pet peeve, or I hate it when people do that. Sometimes we say those kinds of things, and what's really happening is you're being triggered. There's some deeper reason why those certain kinds of behaviors set you off. And unresolved issues may be influencing your life today and causing you to repeat cycles of frustration and pain. And I'm here to tell you, you don't have to live that way. So, there's something better, and it's called love. And I'm not talking about mamby-pamby, wishy-washy, love everybody, everything goes. No. Let's focus right on you. Let's look at you. You are worthy of love, of kindness and compassion. So, as you listen to this video and the other videos in this series, I want you to remember that that's the whole point of all this, is for you to learn to understand yourself better and therefore have more compassion for yourself, because now you are connecting the dots. Oh, this is why this is why I do that. That's why that upsets me so much. And I just want to, okay. So, sometimes maybe somebody doesn't text us back and we have this panicky feeling. The adult part of us knows it might not mean anything. Maybe they just didn't get back to us yet because they were really hungry because they missed lunch and they got to get lunch before they can talk to anybody because they're hangry. Do you want to talk to a hangry person? I don't. No. But the younger part of us, that part inside, might have learned that silence equals abandonment. And that part inside us is freaking out. That's where the freaking out comes from. That's where the wave of panic, like, oh my God, did I say something wrong? Did I do something wrong? Am I too much? We torture ourselves and our mind will just grab it and run with it because it's a thought habit. It's a pattern of thinking, and it has become a habit in our lives. So doing inner child work is pausing and asking, how old does this feeling feel? Where is this coming from? I asked myself, where is it coming from? And I start tracing back, like things come to my memory and I trace back, okay, that happened, but does it go back farther than that? Is it deeper than that? Is there, what did I need back then that I didn't get? And the other question is, how can I give that to myself now? So I was dealing with some pretty intense triggers of my own last year, and they were coming from all different directions. I felt surrounded by my triggers. Like, my gosh, from the north, the south, the east, the west. I was just a pew, pew, pew. And I was a very grumpy person because I felt like I was coming unglued, like my world was falling down around me. I'm like, what the heck is going on? All these areas of all these aspects of my life, why is everything happening at once? First of all, like, what is this? And then I was like, okay, I'm going to have help. I need to tag somebody to help me because I just was so overwhelmed. I was practicing self-care skills, but it was one of those situations where I needed another person to help me sort through things. And I highly recommend it. Because one of the first things they zeroed in on was inner child reconnection. And I was like, why are they bringing that? When she first talked to me about it, I was like, yeah, I'm familiar. Like I just felt like, yeah, been there and done that. I don't know why we're talking about it again. Well, because it's so funny how we can learn things and then forget them. Even if we're practicing them in some way, shape, or form, like in a low-key way in certain areas, we can still forget to use them in other areas. It's just a thing that we sometimes do. Anyway, and sorry about if you hear a cat meowing in the background. He feels very left out because I shut him out of this room. Because if I let him in this room, he is going to do things, and it will be very distracting and possibly destructive. I don't know. Anyway, so one of the most powerful questions that she asked me when we were talking about me reconnecting with my inner child was, what is it you need? Like I remember pouring out my heart about this is happening and I'm so upset because this, and this, and that, and the other thing. And what am I don't know what to do about this, but and she was like, what do you need? What do you need? Like, think about that for a minute. And I tell you, answering these questions, doing this work makes all the difference in the world. All of those things that I felt surrounded and overwhelmed by more than a year ago actually catapulted me into growth that I never would have experienced if it hadn't all played out that way. But the real difference the real difference that was made in my life was made because of the choices I made. Because I chose to stick with it. I chose to do the self-care work that needed to be done. Not as if I am a project to be worked on. You're not a project. I'm not a project. But sometimes we need to clear out the closet. Maybe you're thinking, I mean, it's springtime here when I'm making this. It's April. So it's that time of the year when people put away their fall and winter clothes and they get out their spring and summer clothes. So you're washing laundry, you're putting stuff away. And it inevitably involves you cleaning out your closet. And maybe even asking yourself, why do I still have that dress? I actually hate that dress. I hate that dress. I don't know why I kept it. I've kept it for 3 years. I've never worn it for 3 years, but every summer I get it out as if I'm going to do something with that thing. So then you sort it out. So this is the same thing, reconnecting with your inner child, asking yourself these questions, like learning about your triggers and then getting to the bottom of them and finding out what it is you need. What did your inner child need when you were little, when you were a little person? You're now an adult. How can you give that to yourself now? Did your inner child need validation? Need somebody to be on their side and let them know, I hear you, I see you. And I understand why you feel that way. You can talk to yourself and give yourself that now. And it makes a world of difference. It really does. It lightens your load, your internal load. And there's neuroscience behind this as well. The brain wires around early experience. Emotional memory forms before rational language does, and triggers activate old neural pathways. So when we reconnect with our inner child, it's a kind of inner sort out, like sorting out your closet, your inner closet. And reconnecting with your inner child, you will become aware of things that are basically unfinished business from the past. And you will be able to wrap it up and move forward and actually leave those things behind. The things that trigger you may still trigger you, but you will not react in the same way. Your reaction will be softer, and you'll notice, you'll be like, oh my gosh, that thing. But you will now, your inner child, that part of you inside will know, oh, we already talked about that. It's okay. It's okay. I don't care. Yeah, it's pretty great. So, that's why we do inner child work. What inner child work is not, it's not blaming other people. That may be part of the process, but it's not living in that zone. You're not going to build a house in that zone of thinking, blaming others. It's not living in the past, and it is not avoiding accountability either. So, it's a very powerful thing to reconnect with your inner self, and it's part of your healing journey. If you're someone who finds yourself embarking on a healing journey, I have much more to say about this subject matter in my 7-day self-love reset. If you're interested in that, stick around. There will be a link below so that you can sign up and receive that. And I hope you do. I hope you do. I wish you well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.